Hi everyone! In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to do a render animation in Keyshot. We'll go over how to set up the scene, animate parts of the model or camera, and then render out a smooth animation video. For today, I'm going to be doing a animation that is a translation animation because I am trying to animate something that looks like a drawer sliding in and out, but the process will be the same for all the different types of animations that you can render. But I will just be doing that specific animation, but I'll go over that later in the video. So to start off, you need to set up a scene. You will just pick whatever environment you already have is fine, but then you will go to the top left corner where it says File, and then you have two options. You can either import or you can open a previous project that you've already worked on. Maybe you've already set up the scene, you've already applied the materials. You could just open that and apply animations to that, but if you're importing a file, you'll just import it and choose the model and the slide port or the whatever your CAD file is, and you will just import that into the environment that you have. And then you'll have to put your materials on the object, but there are better videos out there on that. I won't be going into that because it's not really related into animations, but after you do that, you can then go into the bottom tab where it says animation. You'll click on that, and it'll bring up the animation timeline, and then you'll click on animation wizard, and it'll show you the different kinds of animations that you can do. It'll show at the bottom what it is, and there's a couple different ones you can choose from. Like I said, we're doing the translation one today, because I'm trying to make it look like a drawer sliding in and out, but again, the process will be the same. You'll then select the part you want to animate, which you'll click on your model, and that'll select the part that you want to animate, and then you'll hit next. And then X, Y, and Z is based on the way you want it to translate. I want mine to slide back like a drawer, so I'm going to use Z-axis, and it'll show you what that'll look like, and you can do negative or positive based on the direction. And then for duration, you want to pick the amount of time that you want your animation to last. A shorter time frame means a faster animation, a longer time frame means a longer animation, and thus a slower animation. So it's based on what you want. And then you can actually pick the motion ease. So again, when you hover over it, it'll show what you want and what it'll look like if you pick that. I want mine to be a soft closed drawer, so I'm going to pick the ease out motion ease. But again, you can pick anyone based on what you want. And you'll hit finish, and then it'll show up in the timeline, and you can press play, and it'll show your animation for you. So I'm going to pause my rendering so that you can see better when I'm doing the animation, but you do not need to pause your rendering when you're doing your animation. This is just so that it shows up better on the recording software. But now we're going to move on to animating a camera in Keyshot. So you will go over to the camera tab in the right panel where there's the material and the scene tabs are, and then you're going to add a camera and then drag it around until you like where the camera is. And then once you like where the camera is, you will save it with the little square icon that is below, like the trash can. And then once you save the camera, then click on the camera that you are choosing to animate. And then you will go to the animation tab that we previously went to for the last animation. You would then click on Animation Wizard, as you did before, and it'll bring you to the different type of camera animations. Once again, it'll show you at the bottom what that animation will look like. I'm going to do an inclination because I like the way it looks, and I think it adds interesting movement to a render, but again, it's up to you and what you are trying to show with your specific product. So you hit next, and you will lock the camera. This is important to make sure you don't accidentally move the camera and ruin the animation. And then you will pick how much you want for the specific inclination animation for it to incline. So the degrees means how much it will be inclining. 45 degrees is a little excessive for what I'm trying to do, so I'm just going to do 10 degrees, so it'll go 10 degrees up. Again, you can make it negative if you want it to go down. And then I'm going to pick the motion ease, which is similar to what we already did with the drawer, based on how you want the animation to look. I want it to be slow and start and slow finish, so I will pick ease in, ease out. And then, like before, you can actually change where your animations are. They don't have to be on top of each other. They can be at the same time, but you can actually move them to where you want. I want mine to go after just to show better. And then I'm going to press play and show you what the animations look like together.